What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. Hey, these past two videos that I've made chronologically, I've talked about my natural extended family and my spiritual extended family, and especially how just the commonality of values and vision is such a gift to have naturally and spiritually. And so I just wanted to take a second to testify on really for about a couple things. One is the inherently spiritual nature of it. I haven't really talked about how it is God. I'm thankful to the Lord, but it's beyond that. It is the Lord's doing, on one hand, because no one picks their own family, right? But on a more clear hand, my natural family, the cultural DNA, the cultural roots, the upbringing of my dad and his sisters is very much Christian. And even clearer, related to the Antioch movement, these churches are all Christian. Not become a Christian and then your life is perfect. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm just saying, if you listen to a video about, oh wow, all these different cities across the world, and I feel like I belong, and it's easy to almost secularize it and feel like, oh man, wouldn't that be nice? I wish I had that, that's cool that you have that. And it's no, I don't have that. God, it's not some other association whereby that's possible. It's not through human effort to have that type of network or familiarity where that's possible. It's the pursuit is for the Lord, for His glory, etc. And the byproduct is these testimonies that I'm sharing. And so if you were to try to create that testimony but exclude the role of God in it, it wouldn't make any sense at all, at least as it relates to the Antioch movement and to my natural family. And so I just wanted to share that aspect of the testimony, that at least in these examples, God is very, very central, very, very central. And there's good fruit, right? Boom, got my shadow visor on again. Another thing I wanted to testify about is how has the Antioch movement blessed me beyond I'm thankful to be in it, thankful to have it. And I think I really just want to say it's in so many ways. You know what I mean? I had a couple years of following God in high school where I was more or less a rogue believer, just doing whatever I thought was good to do, and striving after God but failing. And thankfully had some people that I knew or was whatever in relationship with, or that didn't give up on me. So I wasn't alone, but I did not have a church home like that. I did have my church I grew up in, and I was a part of it, but it's just a little different than just age-wise, going into college, taking that level of ownership and personalizing your faith so much more. So Antioch's been the covering, it's been the spiritual living room that has welcomed me in for basically my entire walk of following the Lord. And there's nothing that I've become that I can exclude Antioch from, as much as I would want to. I would love to just be the hero of the story, I know y'all think, wow, Jerry makes all these YouTube videos, he must be such a hero. But the reality is I'm a product of my environment, the way that all of us are, to a large degree. And so I'm just thankful for that. And specifically as it relates to the Antioch movement, like I was reading this book by Chris Valentin called Destined to Win several years ago. I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe more. And I just thought, ooh, destined to win. That sounds cool. I like winning, right? And then you read the book and it's not about winning at all, but it's really about how do you decide who your people are? Like when you're trying to find your people, who are they? How do you know? Where do they live? Very helpful book, actually. But in one chapter specifically, he is kind of sharing from his perspective, like more or less, these are the different types of people. There's like 7 of them. And he's like, no matter what way you slice it, you're pretty much one of these types. Is kind of the way that it went. But here's what's cool. Is there's one type of people that he described where I was like, whoa, that is it. That's the people I want to be around. And just all the other types of people where I'm like, I mean, those are cool people, but like I wouldn't belong there. It was weird how easy it was for me, the way he portrayed them. And I don't remember what he titled them, but the point is, the one that he described that I resonated so much with was like, this is Antioch. Like, I'm in the people. Like, I've already found the people. And that's the basically the premise of the book is like, that's how you win, you know? Like, that's like, once you solve that, the rest is butter and cream cheese. You know what I mean? A little bit of brown sugar. It's smooth, sweet, nice in your mouth. And so I was just so thankful. And basically the description is something along the lines of like, kind of like competitive, but not like you're competing against other people, but just like an internal drive towards excellence and accomplishment holistically, like in every area, like in every area physically, like whether it's your work, your health, your personal relationships, but then also every area spiritually, like just this desire of like, I don't want to pick a camp. Like, I don't want to pick which spiritual disciplines I like. I don't want to pick which aspects of following God I just concentrate on. It's like, no, we're all called to everything. You know, like, we will all worship, we will all pray, we will all evangelize, we'll all make disciples. You know, like, we will all rest in the presence of God. We will all study scripture. You know, like, of course, we have different giftings. Our capacity, our ceiling to excel in some of these things are different. But like, we're all called to everything. I don't remember everything he said about this community, but I was just like coming alive. And Chris Valentin was pretty much like, I don't like this community. Not like he doesn't like them, like he doesn't like that they're a part of the body. But he said something about how he's just generally intimidated by them, you know, like these people are intense. And I'm like, yes. Not that I want people to be intimidated, but just the intensity, like the intentionality, like Corbin Blue, you know, push it to the limit. If you're in it, win it, in it to win it. Oh yeah, push it. I love that. And it's hard to find that community. And so I'm just so thankful. Like, that I got my people, and my people are the people that this book said should be my people. And as it relates to how has that influenced me, as I describe that type of community, hopefully it makes sense to you intuitively why I would say in everything, like my framework from worldview and mindset perspective, theology perspective, and then from an action plan perspective. Like, there's nothing that Antioch hasn't touched. Like, they've challenged and encouraged in every way, in every area, because that's who Antioch is, basically. Like, it's like, I don't know, 60% Baptist, 40% charismatic. I don't mean like 40% of the people. I mean, like, every person is 60-40. Although that's hard for me to say, because anyways, there's like a lot of structure, a lot of planning, a lot of like, hey, we are allowed to like use our brain. There's a lot of devotion to the Word of God, but then there's also a very clear dependence on the power of God, a very clear, like, genuinely missional and radical mindset as it relates to just wanting to see moves of God, like wanting His presence to be honored, His name to be honored, you know, like just, and like an openness to like God can do whatever He wants to do. Like he's a crazy big man, you know, like versus like maybe the like dousing flames of zeal for fear of what might go wrong, and it's like, it's okay if something goes wrong. Like, we have to try. We have to put our everything out there, you know? You can't just live in a box, because God does not. And so if we're trying to get where He is and be like He is, then we need to get out of our box. Okay. So I love it. Just genuinely the actual nature of the community is really just perfect for me. Character formation, church planning, discipleship. I mean, pretty crazy, guys. But there's downsides. For sure. Like, there's things you gotta know. If you're gonna try to do 12 years at Antioch, like, I gotta give you some tips. You know what I mean? Gotta give you some tips. But it's the same with any community. Like, if you want to make any community like your family, like I'm describing, like almost like a covenant level relationship, you know, like I really actually am here. Even if I get mad, I'm still here. You know, like that anywhere will be hard. But it'll be hard in different ways for different reasons with different movements. And so yeah, guys, Antioch has shaped me for real. For real. Not like they've been the driver of every single thing I've ever learned, but a lot of them, and more importantly, they've been the caretaker. They've been the living room, the place of belonging, through all the development, all of it. So much pastoral care, so much encouragement, so much challenge. So I just wanted to give a little bit more time to that. You know, there's the big picture. Just it's cool to be a part of a movement, but then there's also the specific to me. Like, this has been such a great place for me, and is growing and evolving. Like, there are things that frustrated me 10 years ago that like I've seen change. I'm like, dang, that's legit. That's some humility, you know? And in me too, there have been a lot of things that I've needed to receive humility on. So it's just cool. It's dynamic. I feel like I'm just like hyping up, pumping up Antioch, and that's a little bit uncomfortable for me, because I used to actually do that, you know, like think that my church is the best type thing. I don't think that anymore. Thankfully, guys. Oh man, I burned a bridge or 2 or 10 or 20 related to spiritual pride in my heart. So I'm trying not to do that anymore. But yeah, man, I'm just thankful. God's a part of all of it, a part of everything in the whole world, and He's especially a part of His church. And man, He really knew where to put me. That's all I got for y'all today. I'll talk to y'all soon. Life is worship. God is love.